have something.
Anything behind the scenes.
Anybody? Raise your hand.
Learning their lives.
Well, what did you all think of the movie? Let's ask you a question. Come on, come on.
Thank you, Big John. He is someone you always want to have on set. He will wrangle everybody up for you. So, Danielle, you had a question?
I just was wondering the makeup effects. Like, how did you guys get the? It just looks so incredible.
Danielle.
So I've been doing special effects for 10 years. I happened to work with Mary. Mary got me in contact with Ian, and most of the effects I try to be as practical as possible in the day and age of CGI, which I can't stand. So we try to make things as practical as possible. I mean, there was a point where poor Zach, one of the adhesives just really loved Zach and wanted to go home with him. So it was all kind of taped to everybody's body. This one had tubing taped all over his body for complete pneumatic special effects. It was incredible.
Anybody else have any questions for Casting Crew? Oh, hold on. What? Hold on, I got someone up here. I'll get down to the front in a minute.
Hi guys, that was so awesome. What were some favorite memories or funniest memories from set?
There it is.
There's so many.
Me? Just the one that jumps out at me is when August here was hit in the back of the head with the urn of his. That was a real take of getting hit with a real full vase of sand.
It was sugar glass.
That was.
After that, some of the special effects were more practical than sugar.
I was waiting for this story. So for the scene, it was like a special effects space. It's made sugar glass, breakaway. We had 3 of them, right? It was like 3, and one of them broke in shipping. And
Two of them broken. One delivered back.
One, so this had to be a good take. And we filled the urn with what was it, like ash, sand, but you fill it, it counteracts the glass, and pretty much what you have now is a legit glass face. So the scene, it was like we were like doing like the take. I was like bracing myself, getting ready for this, and I hit like a freight train. Saw how fast I was down. That scene was very fast. So we were getting everything back up, set up. We're looking at it. Maybe one more take. Danielle was checking me with, checking to make sure the makeup is still on, the effects. I look at her. She looks at me. She looks at Ian and says, "No, that was good."
Not that I want you to feel sorry for me, but I was covered in ash. All that ash was on top of me.
Everyone was covered in ash.
What did CJ do afterwards, though?
Oh my god. Go ahead. I'm sorry, what was the question?
What did you do afterwards when you came down?
So
How
August
was your
neck.
day off?
Oh. Well, I got to watch the incredible death scene and kidnap scene, and it was a bloody good time to watch August here. Okay, so I just had some little cuts and scrapes from the sugar glass, and CJ, not little, but not like a gash. It was safe.
Minor harm.
Minor harms.
Who wants to work for me?
Paper cuts, basically. And CJ goes down and he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Here, let me clean you up." He thinks it's special effect blood. So he's trying to clean it up. It is just ash on his wounds. So that's what CJ did. Love you, CJ.
It's okay, baby. I'm fine. Next question.
Anybody else have a question? I heard someone in the front had a question.
This question kind of goes out for like everybody, but like I just saw like great work. Obviously, for some of you guys, this is not your first rodeo. What were some unique challenges that came up when filming this film in particular?
Morgan, creating the haze.
Okay. I think one of the unique challenges was it was a lot to shoot in a very short amount of time, at the time, a lower budget. So a lot of equipment issues and like trying to figure everything out in such a short amount of time. And I know that Ian hasn't worked with a gaffer, I think, before.
This was my first time working with professional lighting, and I was not prepared for how much time it takes to set up.
Yeah. So that was a.
You can get this done in 15 minutes, right? Hour and a half later.
Also, the house that we shot in, we were also staying in and sleeping in and showering in for about a week. So the amount of time that it took to set the stage and the set that we were on, we had to remove the Twinkies and the coffee and anything with a name brand on it. The ho-hos. Joe. So anything that you saw in the kitchen, we were living in that kitchen. We stashed things in cabinets and in other rooms, and then we're like, okay, we have to go shoot the living room. Take everything out of the living room and put it back in the kitchen. So that was kind of a struggle, and Ian vows that we will shoot in a different location and stay in another location next time.
So just for everyone out in the audience, that beautiful redhead right there is Demi. She is my first AD. She is everything on the set. So whenever I lose my mind and Michael has to come for me, Demi takes over. Demi is an incredible asset. She's been on 3 or 4 of my productions, and I absolutely love her. I do want to make a comment. Someone had asked about like favorite scene. I'm going to say one of my favorite times filming was when Austin and Sebastian were on the couch making out, and the couch kept falling apart. So Morgan, our gaffer, had to sit up against the couch to keep it still while they were making out, and he was just on his phone looking at sports stuff.
Football stats.
So thanks for taking one for the team, buddy. Does anybody else have any questions? We've got like 10 more minutes.
There's a sequel or a prequel. I can talk loud enough. Naturally, all of us that work with you, we heard some of the griping about some of the bloopers. We heard your favorite scene. What's your favorite blooper? By the way, it should be a movie next time.
Oh my God. Probably all the cutouts that Joe said that didn't make it into the movie.
Joe's an incredible improviser. Joe improvised a lot of his really, really funny lines. Like, way to go, Joe. Wow.
I would say probably 92% of everything Joe said was improvised. No offense, Ian.
The sit line.
Put the dick in.
Half the lines were mine.
Put the dick in ridiculous. Stuff me like a ho-ho. Yeah.
So to answer Dan's question up top, my favorite, I wouldn't say so much blooper as in this was completely out of nowhere and it wasn't in the script or we added it, was at the funeral scene. Now I know some of you in here were extras at the funeral scene. Once we did the long shots, we sent most of you home, but we kept a couple of you while we actually shot the close-ups of the actors. And there was one extra in the back, Levi, who's here somewhere.
Top left. In the middle. Looking at him.
Levi.
Stand up.
So Levi just had this serious look on his face. Even when we took like a 45-minute break, Levi just stood there and he just kept looking very angry. And I was kind of making comments like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." So right when we did the whole line, and again, in the script, gets the message, like, "Oh, looking for Dick in the house of God, blah, blah, blah." And then he shows the phone of whatever. And I was like, "Hey, Levi, would you like a line?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure." So I was like, "I want you to lean forward and say, will you guys shut the fuck up?" I thought that'd be kind of cool, because they had been talking the entire time during the funeral. And he did that. And then Tyler, Joe, in his great wisdom, decided to then add another line to that, which is this you showing the phone to him? I, filming, lost it and had to and just kind of sunk down laughing. So we had to then take another take again that was actually in the film because I laughed so hard. So that would be my favorite.
So not really a blooper, more of an Easter egg. Eileen, the car that she drove in is actually my mother's Jeep. we were looking at the cars that we had available for the mother to drive in, and I'm like, looking at all these cars. We got like little Civics, little small cars, and then there's my mom's golden Jeep with butterfly stickers on it and an adventure awaits tag on the back. And we were like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's have that be the car. So I told my mom about it, and she was like, "My car gets an Easter egg in the film. I love that." so when I saw it, it made my heart light up a bit. So that's my go.
Hi, Rihanna.
What was your voiceover? You said you had a secret voiceover.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yeah, you all missed it. Nobody said anything. So,
I did.
you knew it. So, in the very beginning, when Trevor and Christian are watching the fake movie that I actually filmed 2 months prior to the actual film, you see an actress named Jamie. I've worked with her on my Gavin Gray films. She does the running and screaming, and if you hear in the background while Christian and Trevor are talking, she calls 911. I was the movie 911 operator. I did deepen my voice, so you couldn't tell it was me. Because I don't like acting on screen. I freeze. As you well know, I needed to read off my phone during my opening spiel. So,
You're doing fine now.
answering a question is easy.
One Easter egg. There's 1031 on the house, Halloween, and this guy has sleeveless.
I'm glad you brought that because we didn't know.
That's my address. But I'm not telling you the street.
I'm so glad you caught that.
Hi, I got an Easter egg for all of you. When we did the table read, I don't know about anybody else here. I've worked with Ian a couple of times before. Love working with a director that's going to say, go do your role, do what you want. But when we did our first table read, you could see the gel. You could see the friendship. You could see that this was going to be an amazing movie because all of these talented actors here, all these young people, they're all sitting there having fun. They were all sitting here having fun and laughing. And it shows on the screen that they gelled together as a team and they were friends before the movie started. And now that the movie is complete, you can see that they're still friends. So, it's a little Easter egg for all of you.
Wait, Ian. There was like a behind the scenes during the lovely sex scene that was so funny because I was upstairs sleeping and all you hear is our lovely AD. He's like, oh my God, this is so fucking high. And I was like, what's going on downstairs?
It's talking about the shot, not the scene. The shot of what we were getting. Absolutely.
Yes.
Not all of us are gay, Zach.
Was this the one that I fell over? Is this the one where you and I fell over? We were so happy the shot worked out.
Yes.
Oh.
I think there might have been another one.
Okay.
There were so many good shots.
So also, anything up in the Jeffrey and Jeffrey's bedroom was actually directed and filmed by Demi because I had to run and go get the ambulance. So, thank you, Demi. Anybody else have any questions?
Really quickly,
comments?
I remembered my favorite blooper.
Who gave you a microphone?
I don't know. I carry one with me all the time. I remember my favorite blooper that didn't make it in. So in the scene where August and I are ripping off our clothes and going into the bed, there's a shot of our feet scuffling, of clothes dropping, and I was wearing my favorite pair of jorts. And there was a take that we did you could just see our feet, but as I throw the jorts down and try and move, they get caught on my ankles and I just plummet to the ground. So I think it was as I was throwing him onto the bed, I was like, phoom. And it exists. It's a great take of just my body going boom.
I have so many bloopers on my computer. I will load them up on the YouTube eventually. I just finished the film, or Michael and I finished the film, I think Tuesday is when we actually finally finished the version you just saw. And I'm still working on closed captioning. All right, we have about 6 more minutes. Anybody else? Oh, okay, executive producer Chris. I'm actually scared.
question probably for you, or maybe it's pass the microphone down, but I'm curious, everybody who was in the movie some of you were kind of creepy and interesting and compelling, so where did you find all these people, and maybe a little bit, did people want to give a little bit about who they are?
Dark alleyways.
OnlyFans. I will answer part A, and then I will pass the microphone down for part B. So whenever I do a film, I meet new cast, I meet new crew members, and people who follow them on social media then say, oh, this person who I worked with is now working with this guy named Ian. I'm going to befriend him on Facebook. So I have had tons of people. I'm going to say probably 4 or 5 of you were actually friends with me, even though we never met, but because we had mutual filmmaker friends. Zay's somewhere in here. I know I got a lot of people from you. So some of them, when I first announced that I was about ready to start casting, they actually reached out to me. And then everybody else I didn't cast prior, I went to a website called Backstage.com. Keep your minds out of the gutter. Backstage.com. This is a website for up-and-coming actors who are looking for experience. Some of them are looking to just build their profile before they go SAG. So I put out the open roles on there, and I get anywhere between 50 to 200 people that want to put in for the characters. I typically pick my top 5 that to me look and based on a reel they might upload in their profile, fit the character. I then have those 5 people audition for the role, and then depending on how their audition went, they get the job. So I will pass the microphone down, and maybe they can give a little bit more insight on their side. We have one. August is one who found me.
Yeah, so I found Ian. I was just fresh into Philadelphia, pretty much. I was actually just moving in, and I was looking at some the independent stuff around. I just graduated with my associates at the time. I was looking into doing more independent film work, and this was my first independent film, first feature-length film. Stage work beforehand, but this was my first step into that atmosphere, and so I had Facebook friends like Ian, and one of his posts came up, and I said, this looks like a lot of fun. So he sent me a couple of the sides to look at.
Little did he know I was going to bash his head in.
Yeah, little did I know. So I did a couple of sides. He was like, you know what? Look at these ones too. So I did those as well, and let's look at one more. I did that. He says, do you want to roll? Sure. That's my story.
I'll keep this quick because I know there's a lot of us and we all have to pee. I live in Chicago, so I found this on Backstage and I was like, wow, I love horror movies and I love gay people. This is perfect. So then I submitted, and I think I also sent out another email, and then he was like, yeah, I'd love for you to read for Austin. And I was like, can I also read for Christian? Because I was like, I want literally anything to do with this. And I basically staged the thing in my house, and I had actual peanut butter and actual popcorn. I made my poor roommate read these lines with me ad nauseum for hours, and then I sent it to him. And then I got it, and I flew here. Yeah. And it was also my first film project. I'm also a stage actor. Boom.
Yeah, what Ian said. I think we did the same thing. Friends, mutual friends, followed his work for a long time, loved what he was doing, loved the subject matter, loved the genre that is so worth exploring, and probably hounded you to death. Could I please be in your movie? Could I please be in your next movie? You really need to have me in your next movie. And so he did. And on a side note, I want to just say how wonderful the whole experience was, and how great. I call them the Magnificent Seven. The 7 main characters in this movie were just fantastic. I mean, just so you guys I mean, I watched it, and you still just blew me away. It was fabulous, just really fabulous. So
He was a killer.
kudos. I know. I heard some people say that. I think Susan's the killer.
Aside from the Jeffries, I tried to make everyone look like the killer at least once.
I know. It was very cool. Very cool. You're very cool. Anyway, kudos to the cast and the crew. You all were just phenomenal, and it was a joy. Here.
We have like 2 minutes, so go ahead.
Another question.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, my name is Sid Bacall. I found Ian's post on Backstage. I had never been in a feature film before, and I don't really watch horror. But I saw that it was gay, and that there was a trans character, and I was like, sounds great. And then I met Ian, and I was just enamored with his vision for the project, and I couldn't be more lucky to be with such a wonderful group of humans and create such fun art.
I'm Shelby. I've worked with Ian three times before this. Three total, twice before this. So I was blonde way back then, 5 years ago or something. So I think he just offered it to me. Yeah.
Hey, I literally just said, Shelby, I got a role for you.
Straight on
Shelby, I've
offer.
worked with many times. I absolutely love working with Shelby.
I love you too, Ian. And I love the gays.
I recently just directed something, and we were like, who do we want to be our other character? I was like, Shelby. They're like, well, she didn't even audition. I'm like, Shelby. And they're like, okay, well, we'll have her audition anyway. And we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do Shelby. Anyway, I'm Demi. I'm the first AD. I met Ian several years ago, maybe like 4 or 5. I was in college, met through his audio engineer at the time, and it was like, hey, he needs somebody to boss him around and kind of tell him what to do. And I was like, great, sounds like me. We were on one set I was great. I was like, I love this ego boost, let's keep going. On another short film, he's like, all right, great, love having you. All right, we're gonna do a longer one. I was like, cool. Am I still AD? He goes, yeah. I'm like, can I still partially direct? He goes, yeah. I went, okay, let's do it. And here I am.
Okay, my name is CJ Burton. I did not find him on Backstage. I found him through Instagram. And I was like, ooh, horror movie. I must submit. So I started DMing him. And he really replied back to me fast. And I said, listen, whatever, I'm down for the role. Like, whatever you got, I'm down. And I submitted that like a week or so later. And he got back to me and said, like, the part's yours. I'm like, oh shit, this is legit now. And I was like, say less, I'm down for the cause. I don't care what it is, I am down. I love horror, this is my genre, and working with these people it was just a fun time. It was.
Hello, my name is Ruben. I played as Cameron, and this is one of the instances where I knew Ian on Facebook for a long time, and I knew him through mutual friends like Zay, such as that great director up there. But he reached out to me, and he was like, hey, I'd like for you to play this role. He gave me 3 options. There was 3 different characters. Mind you, I'm all the way in New York City, so I'm over here thinking, like, how am I going to make it here to Pennsylvania? I just moved out there and spent like $6,000 just to move into an apartment. I'm broke, right? So I'm over here thinking, like, what can I do next? He tells me it's a gay role, it's something new, it's great, and I'm looking at his past history, and I'm like, you know what? I'd love to play a gay role. This is gonna expand my skill. As soon as I got on set, and I connected with everybody here, from every different corners of the earth, I just wanna say I'm proud of everyone. We grew together, we became family, and I wouldn't wanna have it with anyone else. So. Thank you, Ian.
Hi everyone, I'm Drew.
Drew, were you in this movie?
Yeah, I know. I was in the beginning.
6 minutes. He lasted 6 minutes.
And they were a great 6 minutes.
I'm actually meeting some of these people for the first time tonight, which is kind of crazy because I just didn't film with them at the same time. But no, I applied on Backstage. Ian actually had me read for Christian and then another character, and then I just fell in love with horror. This was my first feature film. I fell in love with the cast on our first table read. Quick funny story, when I got the email from Ian that I was cast, I was walking down the street with my friend Stephanie and I opened it and I just saw like the first sentence and I dropped to my knees. I was like, no way in hell! So yeah, that was my funny story of how I found out.
Hi, I'm James. I played Trevor.
sometimes as a filmmaker, you cast somebody in a role and they have to drop out. And so then you have to put somebody else in, right? And then that person drops out. And then I arrive. That's how I got it. Also from backstage.
I'm Philip Donnelly. Actually took up acting as a twilight career about 2.5 years ago. Spent a year in classes before I started doing self-tapes, and I believe this was the first self-tape that I submitted. But, like James, I wasn't chosen, and I wasn't second, because when Ian finally did call me, I said, oh, I was the second choice. He said, well, actually the third. And maybe the reason it worked is because I kind of have a little of that dementia in me.
But it worked out for a reason. Same thing when I met Shelby on my second movie. She was actually the third person as well, and it was the best decision I ever made on that film set. So having you is amazing. Thank you. Go ahead, Morgan.
I'm Morgan. I love horror. I saw his Facebook post, I think, and reached out. We had some communication mismatch. Phone.
Boy, did we ever.
Apparently my nose ring got me a second chance with that, so glad it came through. Yep. But yeah, I like horror. I like supporting LGBTQ plus art, so that's it.
So I'm Miranda. I've always been a fan of horror, LGBTQ, as you can tell probably. And my best friend here, Mary, since college. We've done plenty of horror films, plenty of random films throughout college and stuff like that. I worked on another film previously before The Final Boy with Ian as sound as well. Mary and I did sound for this film. So just being a part of this, meeting everybody on this crew and cast has been phenomenal. And an experience that I will never forget.
I'm Mary. So I actually met Ian through a colleague of mine while I was at a professional development day. She was like, hey, you should check out this guy. He made a movie with some of our students in the past. And I said, oh, okay. So I emailed Ian, and then I think we talked for like an hour on the phone. And he was like, do you want to do sound for me? And I was like, sure. And then he asked me if I had a friend who wanted to help, and I did. And this is our third movie together. I remember reading the original script, and I loved it because I also love horror. So, you know, it was fun always.
3 or 4, it's every year. But I've also helped you with like 1 or 2 of yours.
I'm Joe Tyler. I play Tyler, and
I asked if you wanted his character name changed. He said, no, keep it Tyler.
it just made sense. It's fine. If I told you how this conversation started, I'd be lying, because honestly, I don't remember. And it's a hectic life doing this, you know? You have to have this call at this time, and you have to message this person. I just know that it was fun to read a comedic role in a horror movie. Because so often, there's always that sense of danger or seriousness that you have to portray. And there was none of that for me. Like, none. I was tired of being a cop. I was tired of being a psychopath. So thank you, Ian, for letting me do that. And I think the numbers are skewed on how much I actually made up. It was all of it.
And now I have to follow that. Great. My name's John Coulter. I played the priest. I've worked with Ian and Michael a couple of times before. Ian called me and said, hey, I need a priest. You want to be a priest? And I said, yes. I get gangster, I get biker, I get construction worker, I get tough guy. I don't get to work in a horror movie or a comedy that often. I'm usually the guy standing there just looking pissed off. But Ian gives me chances that I don't normally get, and whenever he calls, I answer.
So I'm Danielle Sidoti. I did the special effects. So I actually met Ian through Mary. Mary and I worked in a haunted house together. I was a special effects artist there. So Mary knew that I could make someone look pretty roughed up. And so she introduced me to Ian, and Ian said, "This is my first time doing anything with makeup artists." And I said, "Okay." And then I looked at all these young individuals, and they all said, "This is our first time with horror." And I said, "Oh,
We popped a lot of cherries.
you're all gonna not like me at the end of this, because you're gonna be sticky." And so it was a wonderful opportunity to work with people who'd never been introduced to that kind of thing before, and I really enjoyed it.
We're over on time, so unfortunately we have to end it. Anybody who has the after party pass, please make your way upstairs. And you can have some hors d'oeuvres and drinks. Everybody else who does not, thank you again for coming. I don't have the time tonight, but I would love to hear from you and what you thought of the movie. Any critique, I am open to anything you have to say.
Yes,
thank you.
critique. Do all the critiquing.